Good morning. It's perfect time for thinking right.
Great time for meditation. That's what we're doing. We're meditating out loud.
Yes. This is so important for a lot of people that are so stressed out, so depressed, so afraid. Nowadays, especially with COVID, they can't stay. Everything sucks. Everything is scary.
Wake up and think clearly. You like that?
Yeah. Okay, so here we go.
Why do we need to wake up?
Because we're asleep, obviously.
And why do we need to think clearly?
We don't need to.
Oh.
It's not mandatory. There's no universal law that says that we have to wake up. As a matter of fact, look at how the meaningless people that live life like, duh. Of course, we are afraid also, because everything is, I think I've told you guys my expression that the mind is a prisoner in a dipole of between attraction and repulsion. So the attraction would be the freedom to want. I want this, I want that, I desire this. And the other one is I'm the opposite of the wanting. So when you want something, you fear the opposite, not having. Like if I want a house, it's because I want a house, because not having a house repels me. I avoid the idea of not having a house or a roof over my head. So now that they changed the question, do I have freedom not to want, and do I have the freedom not to fear? And this goes to the core of the teachings of Buddhism, and before that, the teachings of Hinduism, which look at everything like a fire. The human consciousness is on fire. The eye is a fire. There's a sutra called the Fire Sutra. The eye is on fire. The touch is on fire. The tongue is on fire. The nose is on fire. So we want, we desire, we need, and that attraction, the opposite of it is the fear. So, do we have are we able to free ourselves from our wants, and are we able to free ourselves from our fears? And if you read the Four Noble Truths, which is the fundamental teaching of Buddha, is exactly what he's talking about. That life is this dipole of wanting and abhorring, and that the source of suffering is precisely that agitation of the mind that wants something and is repelled by something. And the word that he uses in that originally is tanha, which is like thirst or craving. So he contends that when we eliminate our cravings, which are made of attraction and repulsion, so it's just desire and abhorrence, we remain calm and happy, contented. So the answer to the question that was posed in that meetup, Buddha says, yes, we can be free from wanting, and we can be free from fearing.
How?
Well, The answer to the how is spelled in the third noble truth and the fourth noble truth. So the how is when we stop wanting or fearing, then we are free from them. And then the next one is how the hell do you do that? How the hell do you stop from wanting to eat and live and have stuff and enjoy myself and belong to, you know, a relationship or a group or da da da? How do I stop from wanting to like myself and have self-esteem and, you know, take care of my body, my mind, and travel and know and learn and blah 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 blah. And the fourth noble truth is the what is called the middle way or the eightfold path. And that in and of itself is a whole discipline of life that has to do basically with ethics, morality, sila, meditation and mindfulness, samadhi, and ultimate transcendent wisdom, panya. So sila, samadhi, panya, which is the was already making the parallel. So openness of views, this diversification of your perspectives in understanding anything in this universe that is infinite and eternal. So I found it extremely refreshing. Now we have to understand too that this Boltzmann guy was under a lot of duress because he had it clear in his mind that the universe was made of tiny atoms. And that went against the pervading scientific view that the universe was energy, but it was not quantized. So he had a very big battle because in his mind he was absolutely convinced that gases, for example, which was his big stuff, were composed of very tiny particles, molecules. And atoms, I don't know if he knew the distinction between atoms and molecules. I don't know. I haven't studied enough in that. But he knew that things were broken down into individual little particles. And he hypothesized that the temperature of a gas in a specific place was directly due to the kinetic energy of each one of the particles. And he did averages and computations, and he came to the conclusion that within a certain volume, with a certain amount of molecules flying around or moving around the space, it would be determining the pressure, the temperature, and he could compute the average speed of movement of a molecule in the air, and the speeds are staggering at room temperature. I just read this morning that a molecule of nitrogen travels at 900 and something feet per second, or something crazy. I mean, extremely high speeds on an average. And of course, because they're so small, when they impact us, because right now there's air molecules impacting on my skin, they are so small that we only feel the average kinetic energy of the whole trillions of molecules flying around us, and that average of that kinetic energy gives the temperature of the room at the given pressure. That is phenomenal. 100 and some years ago, this guy was already in his mind understanding this dynamic play of molecules and particles, and everybody was looking at him like he was absolutely crazy. I never heard about him in my life. Never heard of him, in my life. Apparently a guy, Colin Wilson, was a young writer, an outsider. He wrote the book The Outsider in 1950. When was it? 1956, I think it was, somewhere around there. An obscure guy, and he was 25 when he wrote it, and he published it, and it became a bestseller, The Outsider. This guy, I immediately saw something about him. I don't know how I found him. Actually, I think I found him by on LinkedIn. Somebody mentioned something or someone. I don't know. Either the book or the guy. So immediately I became interested, very curious anymore. Anything that I hear that I don't know about, boom, I'm already all over it. I Google like crazy until I go to the bottom of it. So very interesting character, very young guy who wrote a book, made him famous overnight. And it happens to be a phenomenal deep thinker. And I've been immersed in his interviews and a few things that he has. He's written a lot. A lot of the stuff he wrote is not interesting to me, but some of the things he wrote were very interesting to me. And I discovered a book by him called The New Existentialism. New Existentialism. By this guy Colin Wilson, and I am in the thick of it. It's absolutely beautiful. It helps me verbalize concepts and ideas that I already have in my mind when I try to explain to people that ask existential questions or questions about their life and why this, why that, and in my website, you know that I have this transversal kind of perspective, looking at things from different ways. Two basic perspectives, which is the conventional perspective: wake up in the morning, make coffee, go to work, pay the bills, change the tires, see what's going on in the news, and then the non-conventional perspective, which is what we try to talk about here, which is kind of a what's right, what's wrong, what's beautiful, what's not, how does it feel to me, you know. By saying that the secret of happiness, the secret to happiness of each individual mind is deliberate action. So this that I talk about, this abstract, subtle, ineffable, zero becoming one, one becoming zero, zero being one, one being zero, the aspectual side of reality, phenomena versus noumenon, and everything. I always take it down to the phenomenal reality. You and I, how we talk, how we cooperate, how we collaborate, how we build and create together. So to me, these conversations that are not taken to the political I would say the hygienic side of reality, what I eat, how I eat, the exercise I do, how do I get along with you guys, how I pay my bills, how I work, how I live in society, the individual versus the collective. If I don't have this kind of trickle-down effect, then it's completely sterile. So yes, I have a political mind that applies these nonsensical, abstract, ineffable ramblings about the nature of reality into how do I live my life in the conventional sense, this from the conventional perspective. So I'm very political. I have very strong, or at least I have very clear ideas what politics should be. I analyze very closely the social contract. There are three thinkers that talked about the social contract. Well, I'm going to be the fourth one. I see the very importance of the social contract, how the individual connects to the collective and how the collective connects to the individual. And I create a yin-yang in there. What is my responsibility, my civic responsibility as an individual towards the collective that I belong to, that I play in? You know, I'm in a game of soccer. I have to play by the rules, but